This video is going to be a film study look at Jahmyr Gibbs' play in the Lions' 26-14 win over the Raiders in Monday Night Football. I think it really illustrates all of the things that Jahmyr Gibbs is capable of. You got the speed, the explosiveness, the cut ability, great vision. I think that'll be displayed on the touchdown run, among two others. But for me, it's really the wide variety of run concepts that he's used on, and the way that Ben Johnson made it clear, I think, what he was telling us, what he thinks of Jahmyr Gibbs, which is he can do everything that's in the playbook. And early in the season, there did seem to be this distinct difference between the run calls where Gibbs was getting the football and Montgomery. Perhaps that was a design of the offense early on to then go away from that tendency or that stratification as the season progressed. In any case, Montgomery's out. Gibbs got full keys to the offense here. I thought Jared Goff played extremely well in the first half. You got the pick six to Marcus Peters, which I'll do a separate video on because I'm a big fan of Marcus Peters, to be honest with you, as a Ravens content creator. But Jahmyr Gibbs put on a show, 187 total yards, I believe. Really just followed up how well he played in the second half against the Ravens in Week 7 on the road, when really he probably could have been this involved in that game. Could that game have been different early on if Jahmyr Gibbs is getting the football on the ground, under center, in the shotgun, in the pass game? I'm not so sure, but I do know that Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy who's dangerous every time he gets the football in his hands. Let's check out some of the film. We're going to have an extended number of plays here to check out. This will be first possession, and I'm going to try to show you all of the different ways that he was used, all of the different run concepts that he was used on, to let you know that Ben Johnson's comfortable with him in this duo concept where you're getting double team on the D tackles. Somebody works up eventually. It's downhill 6 yards early in the game. I think we're talking about first play of the game, for the Lions. 2 plays later, you got a first down at the 33. He's going to go left tackle for 4 yards. So outside zone concept, downhill, hitting this downhill. Gibbs is capable of this. Short gains on some of this stuff early, but I was impressed with how committed they were to getting him the football. Very next play, 2nd and 6. Clear attempt to get Gibbs involved, force the Raiders to tackle him multiple times. We saw as the game progressed, of course, the Raiders did lose 2 players for injury defensively, but we saw them get tired, and I thought their defense played really well early. Ben Johnson forcing them to tackle the running back, just a kind of an old school concept, was very smart, I thought. I do want to point out one thing from this play. Perimeter screen to Gibbs, but look at what Ben Johnson's done here. He's got 2 tight ends out on the edge, Laporta and Brock Wright, and they're double teaming the front side safety. Sewell is working out to the outside backer, and then the third receiver is going to work up to the inside backer. Basically, it's a toss play is what this is, forcing the corner to that side to make the tackle. Brock Wright combos off of him. Really cool concept and great usage of your personnel, if you ask me. Still on the first drive, I think we're 2 plays later. Gibbs in the backfield. This is one where I really like Gibbs on, and I like that he's to the same side as Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams to the boundary, single receiver side, because you've got trips or pseudo bunch down to the bottom. This quote new trips that everybody uses, where you've got stacked twins and then the H or the tight end or Y, if you will, lined up to the same side, but you have this widening between the tight end and the point man. To the boundary, you got Jahmyr Gibbs on his vertical release. Jameson Williams on his vertical release, and then Gibbs is going to sit his route down inside of the corner. I like the usage of those 2 young athletic guys. You can see it looks like a cover 2 to that side, getting the ball out to Gibbs quick if the corner doesn't jump it, doesn't come up onto it. And if he does, to me it looks like the type of thing that Jameson Williams could bring his route to the sideline over top of the corner. In any case, it's a 6-yard gain on 2nd and 10, creates this 3rd and 4, empty. And again, we got Gibbs. 6 touch on this drive. Goff trusts him. How quickly this ball is out of there. Let's fast forward this a little bit, sorry. How quickly this ball is out of there, I think, is telling. I mean, Goff is throwing the ball already. Crosby's your free runner off the edge, so the O-line's doing what they're supposed to in terms of a blitzer. Let's handle the inside guys and let the quarterback worry about the edge player. And then Gibbs has got to turn around and get his eyes snapped back quick. Ball gets on top of him a little quicker than maybe he thought. great hands. The guy is an absolute weapon in the run game, in the pass game. He certainly looks like the type of guy to me that could end up with 50 catches in a season easily. Maybe not this year because there's just so many weapons on this Lions team. Unfortunately for the Lions, first possession ends in a field goal like so many others did early in the game. Second and third possession, nothing happens. Turnover, 3 and out. Fast forward a little bit here. Fourth possession, we've got a 2nd and 2 from the Raiders' 29. And Gibbs is in the shotgun. This is that same side down. And it's a little different than the way I've seen the Lions run this so far this year. You're still pulling 2 linemen, the center and the left guard. Brock Wright is releasing up to the second level, leaving this edge player unblocked for the front side guard to handle. You've got a kick out block, but this is a wrap. So they're not trying to go off tackle with this. So you got the kick out block by the left guard. I think that's the center pulling to wrap inside, basically an off tackle play. We would say, down kick, meaning you got a down block by the tackle, a kick out block by the guard, and then somebody wrapping up through the hole, just like wing T type stuff. But writ modern because it's out of the shotgun, same side run to the boundary where we know Ben Johnson likes to attack. Still fourth possession. I don't like this play call. I'm a big fan of Khalif Raymond, a huge admirer of what Ben Johnson does on offense. I thought there was at least 4 confusing calls for me, and this is the main one. It's a 2nd and goal from the 16 after a penalty, and I just don't know that this is a play call to score. I understand the trickery aspect of it. You're motioning Raymond across into the boundary. Maybe you're looking for some type of rotation by the safeties and then going to catch them back to the other side to Raymond. It doesn't work. Probably see this play again from Ben Johnson. I'm not a big fan of the play call in that situation. 2nd and goal from the 16. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree. So in any case, that's the 4th possession. Another field goal. At this point, it's 6-0. I was a little disappointed in the offense so far, wasting all those opportunities. We know they went up 9-0, and eventually the Raiders scored a touchdown to cut it to 9-7 late in the second quarter. And then Goff really got rolling on this, I think, 6th possession to go down and score. This possession ends in the touchdown to Laporta. This is Gibbs into the boundary. This is a cool play, man. Full flow for Gibbs out of the backfield. Full flow, meaning direct path, and he's it's flatter than that line I just drew. He's flat to the sideline. He's trying to widen these guys up with him. So then he's setting them up, basically, so that the linemen can then get better angles to go seal them off. So you can see what's happened is that linebacker, he's matched Gibbs' width, makes sense. And then now that all that's done is widen him up more for these linemen to go have great leverage, and Gibbs brings it back inside, has the burst to miss one tackle by a linebacker and then a second one by Spillane. Cool play, cool design, utilizing the speed and burst of Gibbs and the agility, ability to go full flow, 100% speed out to his left, put his foot in the ground, turn, catch the ball, bring it back to the other side of the field. Really cool play, if you ask me. I would look for something to be set up off of that, where Gibbs gives that same type of look, and then maybe you have a second screen or a middle screen off of it to someone else. In any case, we now got a 1st and 10 from the Raiders 43, 150 left. I really like the 2 play calls here in a row. This is the offsetting penalties. I'm not sure who the hold was on. I think it was 75, if I remember correct. This is just an old school trap play. I'll give you the end zone angle. You got offsetting penalties, so trap. They're leaving this D-tackle unblocked, trying to influence him with these 2 offensive linemen, make him think he's going to be blocked, and then they don't touch him. And the pulling left guard is kicking him out. Gibbs runs up underneath of that. What the trap concept allows the other offensive linemen to do, meaning the guys that are not pulling and kicking out, it allows them to release up to the second level. It's a beautiful concept, especially when you've got edge defender lined up this wide to the boundary. Some cases you don't even have to block him. In this case, Laporta deals with him. It's Max Crosby, who's a spectacular player. Let's show you the end zone angle. If you're a Lions fan, you watch this long. First of all, thank you. Second of all, you know what trap is because your team runs it, and everybody don't run trap in the NFL these days. So that's the trap guy left guard 74, who got hurt later in the game, is the trapper. Great concept, sets a physical tone. In this case, it's not a huge block, but it allows Sewell to work up to linebacker level, 75 to work up to Spillane. I think he's the guy that's called for a hold. I didn't think I saw one. Yeah, I guess there is with the left arm. So you got 2 penalties, offset. And this is what I really like about Ben Johnson. Offsetting penalties creates another 1st and 10 from the same place. Now, it's not trap, but he runs the ball in the same area, downhill. And it's Gibbs for 7 yards. Kind of like, okay, you want to call penalties on us, which, looked like a pretty good hold if you ask me, and your guy wants to grab my dude's horse collar, whatever it was, we're going to bring it right back at you. And Gibbs has got a lot of power. I mean, he's not just a speed back. He's a guy who will put his shoulder and break tackles, and I'll show you one here in a minute. If this video's gone on too long, my apologies, but I thought it was a brilliant usage of Gibbs throughout the game, and I really liked that hard-headedness by Ben Johnson right there on that second play call to go ahead and run it right there in the same place again and say, you still can't stop it, even though it wasn't the same concept necessarily. That possession ended late second quarter, the touchdown pass to Laporta to make it 16-7. Unfortunately for the Lions, Goff throws the pick 6 in the third quarter, gets within 16-14, and then Gibbs just really goes to work thereafter. This possession additionally worked down inside the red zone after this big run by Gibbs bouncing it outside. Unfortunately ended in that situation where Craig Reynolds was credited with a fumble. To me, it looks like he's probably down. But in any case, this is a great job of utilizing Gibbs. You're getting a double, basically combo on Crosby, making him make a decision. Laporta gets to his outside. Great read by Gibbs to bounce it outside of that block by Laporta, who had some help, don't get me wrong. 17 yards, end zone angle. Give you the same look. You can see what's happened here is you got Laporta and Wright stepping to Crosby. Wright ends up slipping, falling down in some manner. Sewell runs up the back of him. So you got 3-on-2 to the boundary. That's what Ben Johnson does. He creates numbers advantages for his team into the boundary. So when we say 3-over-2, we're talking about these 3 hats here for the Lions against those 2 hats there. Imagine there's a wall here. That's what they're trying to do, is everybody else create a wall backside there. Get up to the linebacker. You can see this linebacker is unblocked, so nobody was able to get up to him, but Gibbs' speed is too much. Gets out to the edge, 17 yards. Third turnover of the day. That possession was ruined. Back-to-back possessions after the pick 6 by Marcus Peters. Then you had the fumble by Craig Reynolds. Kind of ruined that run. Me personally, I'd like to see Gibbs get the ball there. But in any case, the defense got a quick stop. We're talking late second quarter. Get the ball back. Same story. Gibbs for 6, but different concept. You got people moving on a horizontal path and Gibbs working downhill. Check out, he's untouched up to the line of scrimmage. It's only 6 yards. Certainly looks like it might end up being more. The very next play is, by the way. It's the touchdown run. 6 yards. Gibbs running hard. Fast forward, I think 2 plays. 27-yard touchdown run here by Gibbs. Brilliant vision. Cutability. I love the design. I'll give you the end zone angle of this one too. I don't know if you guys have already seen people break this play down and whatnot, but I like the split zone element of it. Meaning you've got, I think, Brock Wright working back here to the backside, but Gibbs is going to take it front side, meaning he's not bringing it back through this hole here that you can see is developed because you've got an unblocked linebacker who's going to fit on that backside as well. It's Spillane. One of the linemen works off just to get enough of Spillane, and then Gibbs brings it back underneath of this wall of defenders. Great vision. Very similar, I would say, to the way Le'Veon Bell used to run some of the duo and split zone concepts with the Steelers. Let's give the end zone angle. If you're a Lions fan and you've watched this long, you've probably already seen this play on Twitter or other film study breakdown people. But there's the split zone element. Look at the timing of Brock Wright. He's in the window of people's vision towards Gibbs. And so it's a kick-out block on this edge defender, Max Crosby. Gibbs can take it, backside, but I was wrong. It was not Spillane. It's this guy, 56, works to the backside. His hat shows up. You can see Gibbs, I paused it right here, his foot's off the ground, getting ready to put his foot in the ground and push off, pressure cut to the right because he sees that linebacker press that hole, that window. Tremendous agility here on this push off with his left foot. I mean, cleats in the ground. Boom. Burst out of there. Almost geared down there around the 8 or the 10-yard line because he knew that he was going to be able to get in. And then it looks like a person is able to lift Jahmyr Gibbs up on their own into the stands. I guess Gibbs is giving him a little bit of assistance. Cool moment. Cool picture on the front. That's why I decided to use it. So thereafter, we got 3 more carries, late third quarter and then early fourth. This is an 11-yarder, somewhat similar to the play I just showed you. One of the linemen's getting blown up, and Gibbs is able to cut off of it. Almost, I thought, was able to break that last tackle. It's being run to the side where Jameson Williams is the receiver. And he's at least trying to get hands on someone. You know, I thought the opportunity was here for a bigger run when I saw this live. Williams kind of loses the guy for a moment, and then the backside safety is able to get there. Still an 11-yard gain that shows you the burst and the physicality. End zone angle, same play. You'll see, I think it's the left guard that gets blown up, but I might be wrong. Yeah, it is. And then Gibbs doing virtually similar move to what he did on the previous run. Put his left foot in the ground and burst out of here up underneath of Max Crosby, who's kind of getting upfield a little bit, and Sewell was able to chip him out, ride him out just a little bit. 11 yards. Very next play. Gibbs again, different concept. You got the jet motion. Supposed to be trap, but there ain't nobody to trap. I'll show you the end zone angle in a moment. The D tackle has disappeared. I think this is what we would call influence trap, meaning you're trapping this D tackle here. So what's being done is this guard is pulling out of here basically to try to give him something to widen up, give him a reason to widen up, go with that guard. And then what happens is the real trap is this guy here. So you're trying to widen that D tackle up with the front side guard, 75, I believe, and then kick him out with the backside guard. Well, this D tackle does such a great job of going with his key. You can see you can't kick him out. He's too wide, so Gibbs just runs up underneath. Backside inside linebacker Spillane is there. Still ends up being, I think, a 7 or an 8-yard gain. End zone angle will reveal to you what I'm talking about. Influence trap. Some people will call it double trap. It's just influence trap. You're really trying to trap this defender, but get him to widen himself up by going with the right guard, in this case 75, and then 70 is supposed to kick him out. He's not there. Nobody shows. Gibbs just takes it on the track that he's supposed to. Cool play. You guys let me know if you were as impressed with Gibbs as I am. I thought he was going to get this type of use. Well, maybe not this type of usage. I thought 18, 20 touches. I didn't think he'd get 26 carries and 5 receptions. Pretty cool to see the young guy get an opportunity. This one is another one. Shows how dangerous he is. Runs underneath of Crosby on the backside. Crosby hesitated just for a moment because you got the boot element with Goff booting out of here. And all that hesitation did is give Gibbs just enough space to be able to bring this back out the back door underneath of Crosby. And I think he's getting ready to bounce this thing to the sideline. Were it not for this DB here, I think we might have his second touchdown of the night. As it is, a great play there on the backside. Beautiful night. Beautiful usage and commitment by Ben Johnson to using the young guy, giving him an opportunity. And I think in some ways this might be illustration enough that Montgomery should be allowed to get completely healthy. Don't bring him back too soon. Let him get completely healthy because this guy can handle the workload as long as he's healthy as well. 9 yards, downhill. Type of stuff that the Lions can do with their offensive line, even on a night when I think they finished the game with 3 starting offensive linemen out, 2 who were out prior to the game, and then 174, the left guard, who went out. Maybe it might have been 4 of them, but in any case, it's been a consistent theme all year that they've played games with 1 offensive lineman out at least, sometimes 2, and they've still been able to adjust. And if you watch the preseason games of the Lions, there was 2 games I thought were very concerning in terms of their offensive line, their backups. they've proven to be able to come in with the starters and hold things down, as evidenced by 222 rushing yards in Monday Night Football against the Raiders defense that I thought was pretty tough and physical, at least for the first 2.5 quarters. Craig Reynolds also played well, but focusing this video on Jahmyr Gibbs. Cool night, 187 total yards, 1 touchdown. See more days like this coming after the bye week. Let me know what you guys think of the film study, how I broke the plays down, the plays I chose to utilize to illustrate how versatile he was, not just physically impressive, but how versatile he was across run and pass concepts, so Ben Johnson could reliably use the whole playbook if he wanted to against this Raiders defense. Appreciate you guys' time. If you think other Lions fans would enjoy this content, this film study look at Jahmyr Gibbs, please consider grabbing a link to this video, sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.